It is 12:59. Good afternoon. I'm Lucas Panzica. Delays continue to hold up the SEC baseball tournament in Hoover, Alabama. Tennessee and Vanderbilt were slated to play right now. Doesn't look like that's going to happen for that second round matchup. We'll continue to keep you posted with scheduling updates. Tonight, the Golden State Warriors get another opportunity to head to their 6th NBA Finals in the last 8 years, hosting the Dallas Mavericks in Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals. Golden State leads at 3-1. Tip-off is at 8 p.m. And in the NHL, Rangers and Hurricanes tied up 2-2. The series will head back to North Carolina. A 6 p.m. puck drop tonight. And the Oilers can wrap up the Battle of Alberta with a 3-1 series lead over the Flames. Game 5 in Calgary is at 8:30. Tennessee basketball secured another 4-star commitment from number 1 overall prospect in Alabama, Cade Phillips, in the class of 2023, the 6'9", 200-pound power forward. Also, another former Titan joining Arthur Smith with the Atlanta Falcons, former Titans running back Jeremy McNichols, the 5th former Titans player to play for the former Titans offensive coordinator in Atlanta. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday to you. Dodging the rain out there today. Just keep an eye on the sky. There's some weird stuff all around the South. You can't play baseball in Hoover, as you heard Lucas Panzica talking about. I was thinking about this yesterday. We had Ben McKee on. He was talking about Tennessee's pitching staff. If this thing starts to get really, really, really condensed, I would imagine having a really strong, deep pitching staff could be a heck of a weapon. I mean, it always is, but especially if this thing really starts to get condensed, like it's going to have to get pretty soon, having the arms that they've got would have to be advantageous.
At what point do they just have to scrap this thing, though? I mean, it's literally every day.
Well, why do we ask him what's the drop dead date? He goes, well, I mean, by Sunday.
Yeah.
This is going to be like one of those little league tournaments where – you take your kids and they're like, well, the first game's at 8 a.m. and the last game's at 11 p.m., where they just play all day. And what did Ben bring up, the idea of it dropping to a single elimination deal?
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I really like that. Because everybody's got at least one great pitcher in the SEC, and we all know anything can happen in baseball. Oh, man. Oh, that is not.
That'd be people getting tight down there.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, okay.
Yeah, if it doesn't start off rosy early, that's oh, man. And it may happen, too, just because of the weather, man. I hate those weather delays. It's never what's going to happen. Some people, oh, man, I don't want to play right now. Dang, this is my rest time. This is usually when I take my nap. In between in the locker room. So, you got to be on top of your game. It's hard to stay on top like that.
And baseball players become creatures of habit, just like anybody else. But it's not like football where you have your habits the whole week leading up to the game. With baseball, you're used to playing multiple games a week, around the same time. And
you lose your rhythm a little bit, and all of a sudden, and it becomes contagious throughout the team. It's really weird. Baseball is an interesting sport, man, when it comes to that, man. Yeah, I used to go to a lot of games. I got really fascinated because you can get beat by a team that you're better than.
Like Tennessee can go get beat by, who was it that beat them?
Tennessee Tech.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they went one game.
Yeah.
Yep, at the Smoky Stadium.
Yeah. See? Now, explain how that happened.
Well, it was the Wooden Bats game. It's the one game they're going to play all season long in Wooden Bats. I don't know how.
Well, the other team played with Wooden Bats too, right?
Right.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. No, you're right.
It's a built-in excuse, but that doesn't matter.
I have no idea how that would have disrupted the. But with that said, Tennessee, because you had issues with the bats in the Vanderbilt series. Remember that? They called back a home run because they checked the sticker. So everybody's talking about Tennessee's bats. And I think it was Jordan Beck after a game said, we don't care. Give us, aluminum bats, wooden bats, we'll win with anything. And then it was shortly after that they struggled offensively and couldn't hit much with the wooden bats against Tennessee Tech.
That might have been a couple games after that because I thought they played another game.
Probably like a week or so after that.
Yeah.
But neutral site game against, in-state non-conference opponent with wooden bats, and they were just sluggish offensively. And then other than that, the only time they've struggled this year was up in Lexington with very similar conditions to what you have in Hoover. Yeah, just a sloppy, gross weekend. Cold up there, rainy, no fans there because the environment was so bad weather-wise. And Tennessee was just flat all weekend. They lost 2 out of 3.
All right, take this season, just the regular season, Lucas, and compare it to Vanderbilt's best regular season baseball team. Because their dominance throughout this entire season is something to behold now. I mean, that's hard to do consistently in baseball.
Yeah, I'm going to look up Vanderbilt's best regular season.
That's why I say you can just have one bad day and it can trigger a whole wave and you go, man, we haven't looked like this all season. And to my point, that's why I'm talking about Tennessee Tech, how they can beat you in a 3-game and you lose one of the games and you're supposed to be the better SEC team and overpowering, great pitching and everything else. But one game, they got beat. So just imagine if that were 1-game elimination. You can get beat in one game, even if you played fairly well. Yeah, so it's always tough in a 1-game elimination. I don't care who you are, but that it's tough to carry a gauntlet all season in baseball and be high. When I say high, I'm talking about play at a high level all entire season. Somewhere along the way, you usually have a slump.
Yep.
Even if it's a 2 or 3 game slump, they have not really had that, and that's what scares me.
The other thing too is interesting about baseball. And I saw it happen where my team would go and beat somebody they didn't have any business beating or lose to somebody. When you face a pitcher who's got this odd pitch, a guy who's got one thing that they do just oddly well.
Sometimes it's some off-speed pitch guy.
No, it's that guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you're not used to what he's doing.
Yeah.
And you couldn't scout him because you don't ever play this team. And maybe he doesn't even – Indiana State came in here for like a regional against Vanderbilt one year and sent some dude out there and some Vanderbilt fan, hopefully one of you guys remember what I'm talking about. I think it was Indiana State. And a guy came out and pitched 4 or 5 innings who hardly pitched at all that year and just handcuffed him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when they put other people in, they started to hammer those cats.
They were used to hitting faster pitches.
Oh, my gosh.
It was crazy. I watched that game.
It was tossing salad up there, and it was just mesmerizing to watch. Now, eventually.
It made you feel like that, hey, Mickey, I think I could be a pitcher.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, Blaine, I think you can pitch with your opposite hand in this game. Yeah, I mean, it's just.
But baseball,
like,
a guy
wow.
will do that to you.
It's like, whoa, what's going on here? So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. They keep their mojo, especially with all this delay, and you get into a high, getting ready for a game, and then you got to come back down. You're not ready to go. Then you get ready to go. Oh, no, we play tomorrow. Those things happen. I mean, we cannot forget, even though they're, great athletes and had a great season, they still go through the ebbs and flows just like everybody else, and they're human beings. So got to make sure you stay on top of it, and you would think this team has the juice, and they got the moxie and the charisma and the confidence, but all it takes is 1, 2, 3, 4 innings, and then all of a sudden you like, uh-oh. Then you start pressing. You want to make it happen instead of to let the game come to them. I don't think this team has that kind of personality, but it can happen in baseball. It's just that it happens it's over and over again. I've seen it happen.
So Blaine mentioned the best, okay, let's compare them maybe to the best Tim Corbin team. I was thinking
in the regular season, just the regular season. So you can just look at the record. What is it? I have no idea.
I'm not finding just regular season records. I just have records for that season because they include all the postseason results. But that 2019, what season were you thinking of,
percentage?
Mickey?
I was thinking of 2019.
Yes.
But now they won the World Series that year. They won 59 games.
Yeah.
But they had a year in 2007 because I'm like, Lucas, I thought I'm going to pull this up. They went 54-13 in 2007 and didn't get past their regional.
Right. That's what I'm saying. See what I'm talking about? See?
They won 54 games, didn't get out of the regional.
Into that, Vanderbilt's got to they got to win it.
They've never lost single-digit games in a season. So Tennessee has 7 losses right now on its resume. And obviously you can lose games in the postseason and stay alive and keep going. But so that mark.
So that's a high mark?
Yeah,
but one seed hasn't won College World Series since 99.
That's nuts.
Yeah,
right.
Isn't it?
See, that's what we were talking
about.
about.
That's everything we just talked about, though. This guy's got to win it.
I want him to win it because I like the Mox. I like their head coach. I mean, everything about this team. But, man, you just hope that they don't hit a point in time where bats aren't going, like it's been all season. I mean, whoever it is. I mean, it's just like, wow, man, this team is on fire. And then they kind of dominated the SEC, really. They did. And with all the guys making first, second, third, honorable mention. So you just want to see that continue. And sometimes having rain delays can put a little wrench in your mojo.
The other thing Tony Vitello is going to have to deal with is this guy, Josh Ellender, who's his top assistant
coach. Yeah.
That dude, if I was AD at Arkansas State, I would have hired him yesterday. I would have hired him 2 yesterdays ago.
And he would have turned y'all down.
Oh, I don't know. I would try. Hey, man, we ready to give you your first head coaching job. I'm not going to be the
I'm waiting for
AD.
Ball State to call me.
100%. I'm waiting
Ball
for
State
that.
did win the MAC. Yeah, thank you.
MAC champions. That's
Yeah,
right.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
For the first time in a minute, I saw. Hey, Arkansas State ain't won it in a long time, in Lucas's lifetime.
I think when you're an assistant there, I think he's probably looking for a bigger job. Ball State, Arkansas State, doesn't matter. I think maybe he's looking for something bigger. You just never know.
I try. Look,
And it got to be some openings now. Baseball's a little tougher.
I mean, I'd say we got a Taco Bell that's just down the street. The Mexican pizza is back. I mean,
But how much
buy you
are
one every
baseball
day.
coaches making? He's making probably more as an assistant coach at Tennessee than he would at like a Ball State probably. Or,
Do you know what the
State.
Ball State baseball coach
I
makes?
have no idea.
I think the guy at Arkansas State makes 80.
Yeah, see, he's making probably close to that now. I mean, if Vitalis was making what, $3 million? Yeah. See, so the assistant's got to be in the 6 digits all day long.
He has to be.
Yeah. So he.
Well, really, only 2 assistants in college
and there's
baseball
a
get
long
paid,
history
right?
of
Just
their
the pitching
their
coach.
relationship goes way back.
Tony makes under 2 per year.
Okay.
About 1.5, but not including incentives and everything that probably comes with the success they've
All right,
had.
so 2. So
I looked this dude up because I'm thinking.
you take an $80,000 job to be the head dude. Now,
No,
the head coach sometimes does bring value than if you're an assistant. But if you're in the SEC, I think you're thinking I can get something better, at least for pay.
No, I'm going to go to my booster and I'm going to show him this Tennessee Vols record. And I'm going to show him what this guy's doing. I'm going to say we have to pay 20 more thousand. He has to make 100.
I don't know what, and I know the guy too. I don't know what he makes.
He has to make 100. It's what I'm telling him. I go to a booster that I know it's got extra 20 in his pocket, and I go, hey, man, you about to pay this.
How much
guy.
Butch Jones make?
The football coach at Arkansas State, since Gus Malzahn, has made either 7 or 750. I think Butch makes 7. I would guess 750.
Oh, okay. Well, that's around ballpark where.
But at the time, it was way above the ballpark. That's 10 years ago. But I think it stayed around. Maybe Butch makes 800.
825 is the number I'm
825.
seeing.
Okay.
Yeah, no, Ball State's not making that. Maybe with some extra, shows or something, radio shows, TV shows, but no. So I don't know. Would you take that deal, Lucas? Would you take a head coaching job at, like, let's just say a non-Power 5, but a Group of 5 school?
Yeah,
And for less pay. I'm assuming he makes more than $80,000.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think of it in the context of, like, my world. Like, play-by-play, you look for a step up for that next job.
Because you got the head coach title behind you.
Guys will leave a number 2 job at a Power 5 school doing, women's hoops and baseball to go be the voice of the Tulane Green Wave or Arkansas State.
You make less, but you're the number 1 guy at this smaller place. Yeah.
Well, I'll take the other side of that, and I do agree with Lucas on that most of the time. It's about the situation, because if I feel like I can bet on myself and that I can get a bigger job, I'll wait patiently. Yeah, and you will get the job you deserve, because the program's going up as an assistant coach. You feel like you have a lot of value. Well, if you win the title, just think if you wait and pass up to Arkansas State and you win the title, then now you say, okay, I can get a bigger job.
Unless that requirement is to have X amount of years as a head coach or X amount of years as a lead play-by-play voice doing football and basketball.
Okay, how about this? Roll with me here. This is my pitch meeting. Y'all are his agents.
Yeah, we just playing both sides.
This is I'm pitching this to you. Our facilities, worst in the Sun Belt. 80 grand. Here's what I'm going to do, though. I'm going to pay you 100, and you help me design all the new facilities. You put your stamp and fingerprints all over them. I'll build it for you.
I don't want just design. I want to know, when is it going to get done?
As soon as I can get the shovels in the ground. You shake my hand, I'll get shovels in the ground before you get there.
Well, I don't know. That would be something to think about. Ball State's got a nice little new turf field.
We don't have turf.
I contributed to that.
You are so nice.
Yeah,
you want to contribute to A-State? We need to hire this guy. Can you help?
I don't know if I would have done that if I wasn't, part of the program.
Yeah, we still got that field that after the game, the guys are their own groundskeepers and have to mow it and take care of it.
It used to be like where we used to practice, like a spare field, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then
Well, they got nice
changed
now.
That into, yes. Yeah,
Ours is not
that's
nice.
crazy.
Hey, people forget Derek Dooley, before he got hired at Tennessee, he was obviously the head coach of Louisiana Tech.
Yeah.
The athletic director, too.
He was.
Right, he was.
Complete overhaul of their infrastructure and their facilities was a lot due to Derek Dooley being the head coach and athletic director.
which
They got some pretty big time people though at Louisiana Tech too, as far as people who graduated from there. I would be surprised if you go look that up.
Terry Bradshaw being the number one guy.
Yeah.
Some dudes with some heavy pockets though.
Carl Malone.
Yeah, Carl Malone. I had no idea. I was like, oh yeah, that's right, he did. The Basic
Kim
Blue.
Mulkey. She was on the staff down there. At one point, they had a women's basketball program that not on par with Tennessee, but that was one of Pat's.
Oh, yeah.
That was one of Pat's.
Oh, that was when I was growing up.
Oh my gosh,
Did they
Leon
play him in
Barmore
a
was the
national
coach.
championship game?
I think they
In the
went to
90s?
the national championship a couple of times. I don't know if it was in the 90s. It might have been
80s?
before that.
I
I
don't.
remember watching. They were on like the cover of Sports Illustrated. I remember all of that.
Lady Texters.
Louisiana Tech.
Yeah,
Yeah, they were good.
I'm pretty sure
Kim
Tennessee
Mulkey played for them. Played for Leon Barmore, and then
Did she?
yeah,
I'm pretty sure one of those three-peat championships was against Louisiana Tech in the championship game.
that doesn't surprise me. And then Carl Malone
Guys
at one point.
Spitting knowledge here. He wasn't even born.
I know. That's impressive. All right, when we come back, there's this SEC scheduling stuff. I know you and Buck got into this earlier today. We haven't had a chance to talk about it because we've been talking Titans. At some point, I really want to get into this because I think it's fascinating.
Yeah, the Texas, Oklahoma coming to
With who's coming in, who's going to play whom. I want to talk about this, and also we'll get into more Titan stuff. We got a big show. There's lots coming on. We want your participation. Mark Spain Real Estate Hotline wide open, 615-737-1045. Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. This dropped a couple of days ago, and we've been talking about Titans and rookie minicamp. Lucas, I know you and Uncle Buck got into it a little bit earlier. About we got breaking news?
Blaine Bishop's IG account got hacked.
Oh, man. Maybe it's the same guy that got my Twitter.
Anybody can help me, please tweet to me. Yeah, DM me on Twitter.
Blaine, I got a DM from Steve Dalton, who listens to, I think, every show on The Zone.
He asked me, did I ask it for like $150?
Yeah, he DM'd me. He said, I'm cool with Bishop, but didn't know we was this cool. Can you check to make sure his page is not hacked?
No, I said no hack.
I got that request as well. I thought maybe it was some new business venture.
Oh.
You know what?
I just
Yes,
thought
I
I
will
wasn't
send
hip
you
enough to know what it
$150.
meant. But it's like if you send me $150, it gets you $200 later.
So I appreciate it. But also, anybody tweet me, man, if you can help me out, figure out how to do all this. Because Instagram, I don't, you got in the wind there when you try to respond and get the help center and everything else to help you out. I was like, they don't respond. I even tried to call. I even found a number, but nobody. They answer, but it's a recording answer. But yeah. So if you want to help me out, man. They say they can't hear Blaine, but I don't know what you're doing back there.
Hashtag help the hit.
You're back.
Yeah, so hashtag help the hitman on IG and the hacked.
Certainly somebody around here's got a connection to Instagram.
Then we got IT in here right here.
You try that, Ralph.
You have a mouth. You can say yes. He just like.
Is that me and my IT?
Is this the thing where we're in a
I
talking
would really
medium, but you're
depend
just
on
moving your
Lucas
face?
to help me here, but I know this is a little outside of his realm here.
I think you just got to change the password. I can see what I can do.
No, they changed the password. Trust, I did it. They
Sometimes
changed the email.
They changed the email so that you can't change the password.
I'm like, how the heck?
God.
I was, yeah.
What if people spend all that time they spent trying to do bad stuff and just focused on like starting a new business, like a legit business?
You know what? They should flip it and start a business where they can help people who get hacked.
Maybe so.
Since they've been hacking people.
Oh, like the guys who break into
Yeah.
banks that become like the guys that instruct the banks on how to not get broken into.
Yeah, no doubt.
Or that movie with Leo DiCaprio where he stole
DiCaprio
everybody's
hated it?
no, DiCaprio. He stole everybody's identity and he had all the
Oh, that was awesome.
check. He had the fake
Frank
checks.
Abagnale Jr.
Yeah,
is
then
who
he
that's
went to
about.
work for the FBI.
Catch Me If You Can. Yeah.
I watch that movie
Great movie.
anytime it's on. If it's
Good
on
movie.
tonight at midnight, I'll start watching it, and I won't stop until it's over. So I hope it's not on
this
tonight.
guy if I can. Yeah.
Well, I hope
He
you
don't
can
wanna
catch him.
see me,
Frank
man.
got caught.
Yeah, my back is hurting so much. I was up there trying to, text and figure out how I could get it done, man, for like 3 hours straight this morning. Like, dang, this is horrible. I quit.
I think you just got to send the request, and they get back to you when they get good and dang well ready. This is coming
man.
from
I
somebody
think
whose
it could
Twitter
take
has
like
been
7
taken
days.
twice.
I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. It is first world problems, but that was recommended. So,
I know.
you guys are like that.
I know. Well,
I should have saw you guys' face like, what broke? What happened? What's going on? You should have stopped looking.
did Rick Barnes sign somebody else? What? We missed that.
And then he was back there like, I don't think there's any breaking news. I'm going to just stand right here and let you do that. Right, Bert? What was you thinking?
I was going to let you stay hacked. Long as you wasn't asking me for $150, I'm cool with it.
Buffalo, and I love this because Bert is new. His city that Bert put down is Galentine. So Buffalo, will you be our Galentine? I think you're going to help Blaine with his Instagram.
That's what it sounded like.
Was
I got
that
your back, Bert.
Albert? Was that the great Albert Galentine? Notre Dame?
Yeah, that's exactly who it was.
What's going on, man?
On the Gallatin, they had the green G that the Packers used. They had that in the 18th century, but now I've got an Instagram account on my phone from the person who had my phone before me, and I can't get rid of it. I don't know how to get it off of my two Instagrams.
Oh, my.
So I've got the Instagram piling on problem. Y'all have a good day. I really enjoyed 104 today. Good shows, all of them.
Thank you, Buffalo. Happy Galentine's Day.
Oh, yeah. It's a way you can go in there and delete them. Delete a whole page.
I'm just confused. How does he have somebody else's phone?
He bought it from them, and they didn't.
The way he described
clean
it to me was when he got the new phone, he acquired a new phone number, and that's whose Instagram account when he tried to sign in. I don't know why he doesn't just log out.
Oh, but you can change the number on there. I think tell it to someone who's not real, savvy on figuring out his hack. I mean, they changed my email. I was so offended when I went in there and I said, this person changed my email. That's why I can't even get into my account because he changed my email.
You feel violated, don't you? They did the same thing to me on Twitter. During the draft, which is like my second Super Bowl.
Oh, man, I was all in. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna get this guy. It was like, trying to catch like a rabbit or something. You just know you're not gonna catch him, but you determined that you're gonna get him.
You just keep running into the weeds and coming up with nothing.
Yep. And then I keep getting these texts. Hey, man, you all right? Hey, you need
Wait a second. You want me to send you
you in jail?
You want to buy $200 from me for $150?
You in Dubai?
Did you see what it sent? I mean, I guess you can look at your own profile, right?
No, people have screenshot and sent me via text everything today. Is this you? No, hacked. I got it where I can just comes up and copy paste.
Let's see. What's your story? Who can help me? It says Zelly, Zelle.
Zelle, yeah, it's a cash app.
Who can help me Zelle someone 150 real quick? I will pay you back with 200 once my Zelle is back active today.
Do not do
Your
that.
account is making some stone cold cash right now.
Man, please.
Don't do it, people.
Don't give Blaine any money. If you have never given me money, which I don't think anybody has ever, now is not the time. Golly.
All right.
Well, I feel duped.
Oh, it's the worst.
Hoodwinked.
Yeah.
Bamboozled.
Yeah, bamboozled.
What's SEC going to do to bamboozle their way to the schedule? I heard you and Buck talking about that this morning, and I thought I had this written down for today. This is something we need to discuss because what's the possibility? It's 8 SEC games with 1 permanent opponent or 9 SEC games with 3 permanent opponents. So then everywhere I go, I'm asking people like, okay, who's your team? Tennessee, Vandy, whoever it is. I even got, obviously, all my Arkansas people. Well, if you ask Arkansas who they want to play, it's 1,000% it's Texas from the Southwest Conference, which went back decades before Arkansas left. Arkansas and Texas need to play each other. But guess what? If you ask anybody from Texas who they want to play Oklahoma.
And Texas A&M?
Well, that'd be the other one. But the Red River rivalry is the one that I would imagine they don't want to die. So we just named it right there. So Texas needs to play Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas A&M. There's no way, and as we talk about Texas, my phone rings from Texas. H-Town, maybe it's Whataburger wanting to sign me for
I saw they're putting another one here.
But nowhere near us.
Nope, Spring Hill.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why couldn't there be one across the street?
That's not that far. It's just about 20 minutes.
I could probably find my way down there fairly often.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they inquired about Lucas via my IG.
Well, he zelled them 150 for 200. Bought some fries with the difference. It has to be 3, doesn't it? It has to be 3. I mean, doesn't it have to be 3?
Yeah, you're going to break off a lot of rivalries with just one.
I don't know. With Lucas, you've been in the SEC. I mean, you've been cheering. What do you think the fan base thinks?
I mean, think about Tennessee not playing Florida, Alabama, Georgia.
They probably don't want to play Alabama right now.
Yeah, that's fair. There's a lot of fans that don't. There's a lot of fans that do because they grew up with that rivalry. Yeah, but for Tennessee, it would probably be Vanderbilt, right? They're going to preserve the in-state rivalries.
Vanderbilt.
Yes,
because Auburn and Alabama have to play each other.
Right.
So you can scratch Auburn and Alabama off because they have to play each other.
Whoa. The team that you have to play is Vanderbilt? Is that what you're saying here?
I think they would say Tennessee and Vanderbilt were sticking them together because Florida and Georgia will be together.
The fans.
Oh no, the SEC when they make the vote.
Yeah.
That the league office would go, okay, let's chart this thing out. Okay, Alabama and Auburn have to play each other. Ole Miss and Mississippi State, the Egg Bowl can't go anywhere. Okay. Probably don't want to bust up the Red River rivalry because they continue to play, even though Texas doesn't play A&M anymore. Okay, we'll circle that one. They'll just come in and keep playing each other. So then it's like, where do you start moving all the other chairs around? Well, Tennessee and Vandy are right down the road from each other. And I know some Tennessee fans would be like, yeah, bring it on. And others would be like, are you kidding me? I want Georgia. I want Florida. I want Alabama.
That's what I'm thinking. Just from outside looking in, that's what I would be thinking. But Kentucky. I get why in state, why that's bigger. But yeah, I don't know if that's going to give them that. We got to get them.
No. But if you don't do that with Tennessee, then who is Vanderbilt's person that you pair them up with if it's not Tennessee?
Nobody's going to want it.
Kentucky? What do you do with South Carolina?
South Carolina or Ole Miss. No,
Well, you got to keep the Mississippi schools
I
together.
know.
Well, South Carolina's biggest rival is not in the SEC.
Right. It's Clemson.
So you could probably pair them with whoever. They'll be good with it.
Well, they're going to get stuck with Kentucky if it's one.
Yeah.
I mean, it has to be them in Kentucky and Georgia and Florida. I mean, you can lay it out and go, okay. But
Dang, Tennessee.
and then if you're Arkansas, you and Missouri.
So it's going to be Georgia, Florida.
So who does LSU
Got to
go
be
with
Georgia,
then?
world's largest outdoor cocktail party.
Cocktail.
Ooh, what is
Right.
LSU though? What do you do with them?
Great question. It has to be 3.
LSU and A&M would have to play each other.
It has to be the 9-game schedule.
So we're having this discussion, and the fact that this
gonna be
leaked
a tough
out tells you somebody said these are the 2 potential formats. We've solved this in 4 minutes and 38 seconds.
No, you guys did.
Well, I mean, you're asking all the right questions over there, Director of Content.
Because I don't know the answers. I don't know the answer. Why you ask questions?
Even if you get into 3, though, for Tennessee fans, you're going to say, okay, we want the young people's rivals, which Tennessee, it would be more Florida. If you ask, like, who is Tennessee's rival to you?
Biggest rival?
Yeah.
I'd say Florida.
Okay. So you played right into my hands. If you ask somebody my age or older, they probably say Alabama.
Yeah.
And then if you ask somebody who just
My age, I say Vanderbilt.
well, but that is a geographic rivalry. 100% it's Vanderbilt.
And yeah, somebody that's 10 years old, for them, it is Tennessee Vanderbilt because that's been a pretty evenly matched rivalry over the last decade.
Well, I mean, it has been. If you just
on the field.
That makes it really, that's the answer there because of how Vanderbilt is probably somewhere in the middle where they split. What's been the record over the last 10 times?
Oh, gosh. I want to say
I'm going to just say 6-4 Tennessee.
Vanderbilt has at least 4 wins in that span.
And that shouldn't be that. And that shows you that it is a rivalry, at least from the Vanderbilt point of view, because they've always played their best versus Tennessee. So, yeah, you got to say that's the game.
I think even for some teams, just getting to 3 and how you got there would be interesting. And if you're a Tennessee fan, I mean, who knows how Florida's going to be with Billy Napier, but Florida still recruits kids from Florida. They're always going to be pretty good. So your 3 permanents, 2 of them are going to be Florida and Alabama. I mean, yeesh.
Yeah.
And like you guys are saying, and anybody who's watched the last 10 years, Vanderbilt goes through stretches where they've given you all you can handle too. But some of them seem so easy and others seem so hard. But there's just no way on God's earth they could make it 8 with 1 permanent. That's just no way.
9 SEC games means more money for the SEC, too.
No.
That's very true. And money is king.
Yeah. I think the Big Ten is getting a little ahead of them.
Think that was right Yeah.
Financially?
Yeah.
Right. Their package deal. But SEC's is going to be up here pretty soon.
Let's see what Les in Murfreesboro thinks about this on the Mark Spain Real Estate Hotline. What's up, Les?
Hey, I think they're going to have like 4-team pods.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have 3 permanent teams like divisions, and then rotate the rest.
Les, I appreciate the phone call. I think hasn't that already been? It was a thing, but has already been ruled out.
The
correct,
reporting
Lucas?
from Ross Dellinger, Sports Illustrated, is that pods and divisions are basically in the rear view with these discussions. These are the 8-game slate, the 9-game slate.
Survived.
This is what has emerged as basically the front runners on how they're going to move forward, which they're going to be talking about next week in Destin.
Because this is a big issue.
Doesn't money have to win though? 9 games is money.
Hard to believe that they would
Guys,
pass that up. Yeah.
Here, go. Hey, back in the back there, Mickey, put it up on the board. This is what you're going to make if 8 conference games. Okay, all right. Put up the 9-game slide. That's what we're all going to make if you play each other one more time.
Vanderbilt would rather play 8 games. South Carolina would probably rather play 8 games. Seriously, for teams that are looking for bowl eligibility every year, and that's the goal.
Yeah,
I know these things are cyclical, but that's basically a free win you're taking off the schedule for a lot of teams.
well, you hope.
Yeah.
You would hope if you got a good scheduling coach, then they get you some free wins. Let's get Cheeseburger in. Serve up a burger to everybody. What's up, Cheese? What do you think about this?
What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing today?
Man, fantastic.
I'm doing good too. Hey, can y'all give a shout out today? Today is me and my wife's today is our oldest daughter Natalie Clark's birthday today. She is 13 today. Can y'all give her a shout out today?
I think you just did. Happy birthday to Natalie. Yeah.
Happy birthday!
And then also I think about this whole scheduling with the SEC for football. I think they should do 9 games. I'd be happy with 9 games. I want to see more SEC games. I root for Vanderbilt, but I'm a huge Florida State fan. Hey, talk about Florida State. I want to see Florida State be back in the national title spot. Y'all just wait. Florida State is going to be back up there. Hey, and Vanderbilt, you know what? I think this coming up in season, Vanderbilt's going to compete, y'all. Vanderbilt's going to compete. Hey, Vanderbilt, watch out for them. They're a sleeper in the SEC, but watch. They're going to compete, and I hope they beat UT today in the SEC tournament. And talk about that, too, today.
Well, geez, just throwing it all out there to talk about. Well,
I tell you one thing, Vanderbilt football looked a lot better from beginning of the season, getting beat by, what was it, East Tennessee State or something?
Yes, ETSU.
And then by the end of the season, they look different. Yeah, they. So I'm interested to see if they can build up momentum, see who's going to be the starting quarterback, and kind of go from there. Yeah, I think Clark Lee. Yeah, I think they're on the right track for sure.
You can't fix everything in one season.
No,
so all you can, like you said, are they playing better at the end? Is it a better team? Is it okay?
Start seeing the footprints of the coaching staff and Clark Lee and the staff. You know that they're improving. They're getting better, and what's expected out of them, change is always tough. We were talking about teenage guys here initially, and some of them, 2021. So that's always difficult. And then how do you fit in, and then the new scheme and system, and then, you're making assumptions. You got to go to fundamentals on how to play their scheme. And, now they're changing again. They got a new defensive coordinator, right? I know the mentor guy left to go to Michigan.
That's right.
And the reason why I know that, because his dad was my DC in Ball State. Mm-hmm.
And for people who don't, they think, well, same team. No, not if you're on defense. Whole new coaching staff you got to impress. They don't know anything about you.
Don't know if he's the only one left and that the other staff members stayed.
Yeah, Nick Howell got promoted.
Right, okay. Yeah, I think they kept everything consistent. So
okay, well, then
that may be some consistency.
Less you got to do then is some consistency there. Giant Jackson says, what are we talking about here? Scheduling rival game after? No, we're talking about the SEC. You can do away with divisions now, which the Pac-12 immediate was like, what divisions?
Immediately.
So you're
they're the ones that proposed it, though,
right?
Actually, too.
So you talk about desperate to get into the playoff.
Right.
Like, what could we propose to make things? We'll get rid of divisions. So we'll just have the 2 best teams play. But Greg Sankey's all about that. Like, it's fine with me.
How many years in the SEC championship was it Alabama blowing out an 8-4 Jim McElwain Florida team when LSU was at home? Right? After a thrilling Iron Bowl.
Yeah, but I used to sit here and cry and complain all the time. Got to get rid of divisions.
Well, it worked. Let's get Mikey and Lebanon right quick.
They weren't listening to me.
100% they were. Mikey, what's up? We're listening to you.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
Good.
Yes, sir. All right. So what if they did a 10-game schedule and then only had 2 out of conference? That way you could get more of a sample size of who the better team is, and you wouldn't get as many teams playing as easy of teams like Vanderbilt, South Carolina, and Mississippi State.
Well, Mikey, I think those coaches, even though they did it in a COVID year, which was absolutely amazing to watch, 10 SEC games, the way they've structured it, I think the coaches would be like, that's too much. That's too much for our guys to have to hit other SEC guys 10 weeks of the year. Nope. I don't think they'd do it because nobody's mentioned 10 games. 8 maybe? 9? I haven't heard anything about 10. You
maybe beef up their out of conference too. Yeah, I mean, when I say that, I mean play other Power Fives.
Go play Michigan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That way that makes your schedule look beefier instead of playing a Ball State. Mm-hmm. Then you're like, well, that really didn't mean it. You play, only a half, but you didn't take a pounding. You guys got rest. Especially, Tennessee's done a good job. Alabama used to do a real good job. They'll have it like in the middle towards the end of the season.
Oh no, it's what the week before the Iron Bowl is always like that.
Mm-hmm. So you get some extra
game
rest.
11 is always like the super cupcake late week for everybody.
I don't think you could have those games to me, and I don't know how you form that. But to me, you must play Power Fives outside of your conference. If you're the SEC, the Big Ten, you're part of the Power Five. You can't play any fluff. You can't have any weekends off.
Well,
I know a lot of people is going to say then those other schools don't get paid. No, you know how those schools going to get paid? Maybe not the same amount of money. Since spring balls are all on TV, you go play the Ball State on spring. They can't be a part of the making the big dough. They're going to be separate. They're not getting the big dough anyway. They're just helping their program survive.
You've been on this spring thing for a while.
Yeah.
It's part of Ross Dellinger's reporting, too, the 2020 season, the 10 games, most watched season in SEC history, regular season. Maybe he talks about it providing some sort of blueprint. More SEC games, more eyeballs. I know everybody that's supposed to be in the stands were also home watching. That added to the TV numbers.
Sure did, because we all were watching it on TV. Third segment of the first hour coming up next. We got Matt Hayes coming up at 2:20. Great college football writer. We'll get with him about all of this, and we can certainly ask him about NIL and everything else, but SEC scheduling as well. We can do that. I've got a Derrick Henry fact that I think will surprise both of you guys coming up next. Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. One of the things that I love about Blaine and Mickey 1045 The Zone. Bert told me, like, hey, man, I put a bunch of scorpions in the box for you. I appreciate that, Bert. Thank you. You can't play too much
it's some
scorpions.
scorpions in there?
Yes, but the good kind of scorpions.
I'm scared of scorpions, man.
My
Those
dream
things
job
are
is to be the Scorpions bass player because, like, all that dude here is going do 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 do. He's just pedaling E, which is my favorite thing to do because then you can put your foot up on like a wedge monitor. You can like raise your, in this case you'd raise your left fist because you only need your fingers to play the E string open. So, Scorpions bass player is a fantastic job, and all due respect to the guy who's got it now. But if he decides to drop out, I would make myself available. Just telling you, so long, suckers.
You're talking on a high level for me. What's an E string?
It's the biggest string on the bass. It's the top string, the biggest string. Bo, 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 bo. It's the low
That's
one.
to me. Okay.
It's where I do most of my work.
When I'm messing around, that's the one I'm always hitting.
Yeah, like if you go to the music store and play a bass, you'd play that string. Yep. I've been playing that string for 30-something years now. So I make a living off that one string. Obviously, I didn't make a living doing it, but I would have had things worked out.
For a minute.
I tried. I tried.
You hit too many bows.
Maybe I made it to like, somebody asked me once, all right, put it in baseball terms, how far you made it. And I was like,
Ooh, did you make it to AAA?
I didn't make it to AAA. AAA is like you went and lived in a van.
Cactus League?
I got some ABs in the Cactus League for sure.
Okay.
The musical equivalent. 100% I did.
Oh, so
You were a single A at
So
least.
you single A?
I would say high A. Because I recorded songs, I produced some stuff, I have records on iTunes, I went to Europe and played, I played all over the U.S. I just never lived in the van, and I never got a record deal.
Because you didn't want to.
I would have. Those other suckers would have done it.
I got Bird to finally laugh.
If it was like, hey, man, we're going to get, $8 a day, I would have done it. I was crazy enough I would have done it. I would have, because at that time I was not married, I had no kids. I would have gladly gone and done it. I would have lived in the van with the other three stinky guys.
Okay.
Just couldn't get anybody else to leave with me. Probably a smart move.
I don't know, but did you see those two big cakes in there, man? Who keeps bringing these mountain cakes?
Is there another one today?
Yeah, it's two of them. It's two. The one left over from yesterday.
Okay,
and
I'm
another
going to
one.
walk right past that one.
And I was real tempted, I got to go weigh in for my physical today.
You can't get your blood sugar up.
I don't want to go in there.
I thought it was yesterday. Because we were like, just eat cake tomorrow. You'll be fine with the leftover cake.
Here's what I did do. I'm not going to tell, but I did touch the cake.
You touched it? What are we doing? What if Bert goes and eats that piece?
A year and a half ago, that's not okay.
Now you got to
Or if
figure
you
out where
touched the cake, we'd have a full-blown COVID investigation a
We're
year
shutting
ago.
this thing down.
Literally, we'd be in hazmat suits in here like the pool cleanup scene from Caddyshack.
Like, man, they got to just sit down here. I said, somebody didn't touch this cake, man. That's
You!
what I was
It's you!
I didn't. I was just messing
Did
with
you see like finger marks in
I
it?
was just like, man, this cake looks like it's a lot of people that got at it, man.
So we took a fistful.
I'm like, yeah, it looked like somebody just grabbed
That's
a
a
piece.
Western
And I'm
fistful
like,
of cake.
Oh, man, I don't know if I can do it, man. It looked like somebody grabbed a cake.
Did you?
Half of it was leaning, falling down. I'm like, oh, my God.
But what's the other one look like that got there today?
Oh, it's leaning, too. It's like the
Has it
Eiffel
been
Tower.
touched as well?
Oh, and then it's like it's the half of it is like slid off of it. So I'm like, oh.
Well, this doesn't even sound good. I
pizza.
wanted to eat some of it.
It looks like it's nice and spongy.
Okay. Derrick Henry trivia. I promised this. Then we got derailed on a cake, which I'm about to have to go see what's going on in the break room.
Yeah, because Mickey can eat some food.
100%. I can eat some cake.
No,
That was some good cake, too.
You know what? We should have an eating contest between you and Lucas.
Oh, no. He
No.
He would destroy me.
Oh, okay.
His stomach's
The
younger.
younger?
It's more pliable.
It's not turning.
I mean, it's
you know, all I
The
think
Joey
about is the
Chestnut
Tom
meat.
Brady stuff when that guy said his brain and his butt was more pliable.
100%, dude. I've watched Lucas come in here and just destroy a pile
So
of eggs that were 7 hours
you see
old.
him, you think of a younger you.
No, I think of a guy who eats a bunch of old, weird food that's been sitting in a studio all day.
Oh, you think
I wouldn't have done that. I mean, I'll eat a lot of food, but not something that's just been
even in
sitting
your
in a
younger
studio.
days?
No.
No? Oh, okay.
You know me and my stomach. I have to be smart.
Oh, so that has never changed.
No, it gets worse every year. I just expect to implode fully one day. Regular season MVP. Do you guys, you're going to be shocked when you find out who has the top odds. Who do you think has the top odds?
Wait a minute. You know, I'm lost in the cake.
For football.
Cake, yeah.
I know. We got to pay this tease off before we get to 45 seconds here. Top NFL MVP odds. Lucas, you're in here, so I love to do this to you
Aaron
guys.
Rodgers.
No.
Josh Allen.
No.
Patrick Mahomes.
No.
Jonathan Taylor.
No.
Watch this.
Cooper Kupp.
The King!
The King, here's the trivia for the King. He's the first non-quarterback on MVP
well, he
odds.
didn't win
The
it.
King, not Aaron Donald, not Cooper Kupp, it's King. 50-1 odds on Derrick Henry. Same odds as Mac Jones. Everybody else is a quarterback. Justin Herbert.
He's number one?
Number one.
Oh, my.
Josh Allen, Mahomes, Burrow, then Aaron Rodgers, then Tom Brady, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, who knows how many games he'll even play, Jalen Hurts, Derek Carr, Matthew Stafford, Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, Matt Ryan, Trey freaking Lance, Tua Tagovailoa, Kirk Cousins, and then Derrick Henry and Mac Jones. That gets you to 50-1. Then Cooper Kupp is next. He's 66-1 with Jonathan Taylor of the Colts.
After hearing all that, I want to know where Ryan Tannehill is.
He is.
That's what came to my mind.
He is 150-1, tied with Alvin Kamara, Jamar Chase, Jameis Winston, Jimmy Garoppolo, and T.J. Watt.
Surprised Jamar Chase isn't higher.
He's T.J. Watt, not J.J. T.J. Watt.
Yep.
TJ,
he
Tannehill,
he
Garoppolo.
couldn't catch the football because he didn't have a stripe on there in preseason. Remember that? Yeah, people really forget. They made a big deal about that. He ain't had no problem catching the ball after that.
At the end of the year, he's seeing all the stripes he needed to see on the way to the Super Bowl. All right, hour number 2 coming up. What did Ryan Tannehill say the definition of mentoring is? We had that. He said it this week. What's the definition of mentoring? We'll play that and more for you next. It's Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone.
Mickey.
Got my man Ryan Kelly on the line. Ryan, it's funny when you talk to people who own a home, they go, gosh, I'd love to build, my dream kitchen. Gosh, it'd be great to have
It is 2:02. Good afternoon. I'm Lucas Panzica. We have game times for the start of the 2022 college football season. Tennessee will kick things off against Ball State on a Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Time. And then it's week 2 at Pittsburgh, a 2:30 game on ABC. By the way, the college football season starts 100 days from today. Also have a new date for the Music City Bowl at Nissan Stadium. It'll happen on New Year's Eve this year at 11 a.m. Central Time. SEC baseball is going to look to continue on today down in Hoover. The tournament's been held up due to weather delays. Texas A&M and Florida were supposed to play at 9:30. That first pitch is now at 2:30. Meanwhile, Tennessee and Vanderbilt will look to play their second-round matchup at 6 p.m. this afternoon. Tennessee basketball secured another 4-star commitment from power forward Cade Phillips, the number 1 overall prospect out of Alabama, according to 247 Sports, a 6'9", 200-pound power forward. Tonight in the NBA, the Golden State Warriors get another chance to head to their 6th NBA Finals in the last 8 years, hosting the Mavericks in Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals. Golden State leads that series 3-1, tip-off at 8 p.m. And in the NHL, Rangers and Hurricanes tied up 2-2. That series heads back to Raleigh for a 6 p.m. puck drop, and the Oilers will have a chance to wrap up the Battle of Alberta with a 3-1 series lead over the Flames. Game 5 in Calgary is at 8:30. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. What's up? Happy Thursday, everybody. We are here. Blaine is here. Mickey is here. Lucas is in the studio. He's just hanging out in here now. And Bert, our man Bert, is behind the glass, rocking the wheels of steel. So what do we, I didn't even ask you, what do we owe this pleasure of you hanging out in the studio with us?
Because it's his last day.
Yeah, so Bert's going to help out when I'm gone.
Not forever. People are like,
wait, not
what?
forever. Not forever.
This is his last day. He's moving to Brazil. He's going to start his own Brazilian
wax.
Yeah.
That's just the first word that came to mind. Well, I hope they let me
I
back.
was going to say something about the Italian king. I couldn't think of the name.
He's not going to those relatives.
I hope they let me back in the building when I come back. But Bert is going to help out when I'm gone. He's going to run Buck's show. He's going to run y'all's show. And hopefully the door will be open for me when I get back here and Bert won't have stormed in and taken my job. But I'm in here so he can be in there and basically be thrown into the fire like I'm not there to help. And he's done a great job.
You're in here because he's in there, so he can. Okay, there's a lot of here's and there's and where to
Everywhere.
Yeah.
So beware.
Look, all I got to say is
Hey,
this.
man, I did not take any Zyrtec D today.
I was hoping you did. Bert's been doing this job like 15 minutes. He's already put 12 new Scorpion songs in the box.
Yeah.
You're on notice.
You might be ahead of me.
I don't know,
100%.
man. I think he's just going right down the ticker.
I mean, Bert just shows up. It's like, hey, man, I know you like Scorpions. I just put a whole bunch of Scorpions in there. Well, really, thanks, Bert. Thanks for thinking about me.
I hope I don't sound like that. Is that what I actually sound like? Some like gassed up kid?
You don't sound gassed
like
up.
Some angsty little teenager. Like,
No, I mean, I'm just saying, like, hey, you know, like you were just casual about it. That's more of an homage to you, not so much a direct imitation. It's just more of like just a very chill Bert telling me that he had dropped all the Scorpions in the box for me. You know, because he pays attention. He knows that it's like I have a new, somebody at work who's showing me attention, unlike, you, Lucas. He's
That's
listening
fair.
to me. Yes.
The only reason, to Lucas's credit, that I know you like the Scorpions is because he told me that. So I will give him a touch of credit there. But I'm the one that loaded
Self-sabotage.
him in. So
What did he say about me?
he will not tell me what kind of music you like.
I can't figure out what kind of music Blaine
I've been
likes.
trying to figure it out for days, man, because I don't want you to think I'm so pointed towards Mickey that I won't lean to your musical taste, but I will.
I've asked you before what your pregame routine was musically, but you've never given a clear answer.
I told you, on the road again.
Was it really? Okay, I was going to say. Just for away games?
Was it? Come on, ride the train.
Yeah.
Ride it.
I had a lot of different ones. Some would calm me down. I'm just a naturally energized guy. So some days, most days, was trying to calm me down on game day. So it was very relaxing.
So you're listening to calm music. McNair's in his locker taking a nap.
Yeah. That's what
So it wasn't like people in there slamming their head against the wall. It's a calm locker room.
No, I don't. Yeah, maybe right before we were going out, you put on your helmet. Some guys started banging, but nah.
And you were cold tub after the game, but didn't you tell me you always got in the hot tub before the game to kind of get loosened up? Was that part of the pregame?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was right.
Yeah, and the nice pearly grays that they give you, gray shorts. Sit in there, get your body get the whole body revved up, get it bubbling. Blah, 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 blah.
What music were you listening to in the hot tub?
Oh no, I didn't
like
want to
yacht rock.
I didn't want to get electrocuted or nothing.
Well, you could have had a Walkman. Batteries won't electrocute you.
There's just something. If I move and people play around a lot in the locker room in this training room, no.
Okay, you were just in the right frame of mind.
Yeah. I watch this. I didn't really need the music. It was to calm me down. So it was naturally ingrained in me to be fired up. I'm sure you guys have figured that out.
I would have never known that.
So
you were using the music to kind of hold yourself down, though, till you had to release the beast.
Exactly.
I got you.
Yeah.
You played with one guy.
Sometimes you release the beast and there's nothing to attack it. Then I'm saying you're exhausted.
Oh, you told me about your teammate in Philly who had a whole different, like a locker for his game day personality.
Oh, yeah.
Wolverine.
Oh, yeah. Brian Dawkins was that. He
like
was
completely
he
different
was a whole
dude.
Different person, man. Yeah, it was uncanny. I've never seen anything like that.
What was
he was the nicest, religious, faithful, faith-driven guy you would ever meet. And then on game day, it's just like, I was caught off guard. I wish somebody would have forewarned me because I lock it right next to him, even in, home and away games, not just in practice. Yeah, it was something to behold.
So were you like asking somebody else, like, hey, can you tell me what's going on with this dude over here?
No, I never did.
You just kind of figured it out?
Yeah.
Okay.
What I would do was turn around and watch him come out because I would come out right before him. I want to see what this guy's going to do. When he did all fours and was running like a dog and then jumped up in the air like you never don't care, yeah, and it was like you were flying, I was like, oh, my gosh. What is that? I was like, what was that? Did you see that? He went in the air, and I said, he was flying like a dog. I said, no. Fly, eagle, fly. I was like, oh my. He really believed that. He went to a whole nother I'm serious now.
How long did it take him to come out of that after the game?
Probably pretty quick. Maybe even before we even got in the locker room once the game was over. But yeah, he explains it. You watch a special on him, you'll see him explain it. I never really wanted to ask him. It's kind of scary.
Well, that's it.
Because he was such a pleasant guy.
Right. Like quoting Bible verses and stuff.
He would bring out this inner, man, I don't know. I don't even know how to phrase it, like an inner hate or just something bad. I have never, ever, and not another team, any team, watching somebody, what he was doing. He was on another plane. And then his play was just like, whoa. Where did that come from?
Yeah, for a long time, he played at a real high level as Wolverine. Let's tie this to the Titans. Ryan Tannehill playing at a high level for the Titans. Obviously got into some, I don't know, not hot water, but a lot of talk on all these chat shells where two people sit at the table and argue with each other about what it means to be a mentor. And it was interesting. He spoke Tuesday. Mike Vrabel spoke. And not only did he talk about, look, this is all cleared up. It became something way bigger than anybody wanted it to be. But he got asked later on in the press conference. I went back and listened to the whole thing again today. I'd forgotten he said this. But he actually got into, like, this is what mentorship means to me.
To me, right.
He gave a definition of what it means to him. And maybe this explains things a little better. But this is a Titans quarterback after OTAs this week talking about what it means to him, mentorship.
It's a little bit different. I think that there's just a little bit more general understanding a lot of times from a veteran player. They've played more football, frankly, and kind of understand how things work. And, you might have called it something differently, but they've repped things in the past. A lot of these guys coming out of college haven't run these types of concepts or in different types of offenses.
Hey, you could bail out of this. This is him talking about team chemistry. Now, this is him talking about actually being there and why he was there. We can get to the mentor thing later. I thought he gave a great definition for it. But he explained basically, when I think about mentorship, this is what I think of. And he described it in pretty vivid detail. The other thing Oh, we have that. Okay, let's hit that actual soundbite.
Yeah, no doubt. I think that, I take that word seriously. There's a few people that I count as mentors. There's hundreds of people that have helped me out throughout my life and my career, but there's only a few people that I consider mentors. So, mentorship is something that both people have to want. Both people have to, agree to kind of enter into that, and it's going to take a lot of time, energy, and focus. Yeah. He agrees. He agrees with me. So yeah, I think that that definitely played into it.
So Ryan Tannehill talking about mentorship and what it actually means to him. Thought that was interesting to hear his definition.
Yeah, somewhat agree with him, but in the prism of the interview that happened, let's say 3 weeks ago or so, when he said that, he had to know, as I'm going to say again, when he said mentorship, what that was going to mean in the professional realm of sports, how that could be portrayed. Hey, this is not his first rodeo. I think he said he's going on his 11th year.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And then the way he went out of his way to say it now, he could say, that it wasn't going to be mentoring, but I'm going to still always be a good teammate. But he didn't say that at the time.
Sure did not. At the time, he did not.
And remember, I had his back. Remember, I was saying that's just not who he is. So I don't even see any of this happening because I've been around that and seen that. Chris Chandler doing that to McNair.
Mm-hmm. And he's not that guy.
And he's not that guy.
There's nothing about him.
And he kind of brought that up, too, as well. You guys know me. You've been around me. That's not really who I am. So, mentorship in his mind is not a quarterback helping the young guy along the way. That's just really doing his job. I think if he wanted to put it in a nutshell and dumb it down. But I like I said before, it's no different than Nick Saban. I wish he would have phrased it and termed it differently or not pointed the finger and said a university. And I think the same thing here. You just shouldn't have used it because you had to know how people were going to take it. You knew, Lucas was going to say, oh, dang, he's not going to mentor Malik, so he's not going to help him out or he's not going to do anything. Mm-hmm. Because there's no other way to take it.
And when we talked about this, I brought up the point of he didn't even get asked directly about mentorship. He wanted to say that, which he got asked by somebody else later in the press conference. Then, so you could have tweeted about it or something. He's like, well, I knew I would talk to you guys again. I knew I would clear it up now.
Yeah,
I didn't want to tweet about it or put it on social media. I'm paraphrasing, but it's like that wasn't the place to do it. I knew I would talk again and I would clear everything up. And he said, Malik and I were in constant communication through the whole thing. And I told him, I'm going to be a good teammate. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, so, I think what he said was he didn't want to pour gasoline on a fire that already was started. So let it die down while waiting to get in the middle of it and then let it go away. And then I'll come back and address it the way I wanted it to be, portray what I said and what I take as mentorship, what it means to me.
Which was super smart because there's nothing you could have said at the time that would have fixed it. And we had this discussion.
I definitely agree with that.
We had this discussion talking about Nick Saban and Jimbo's response. And I said, sometimes the best thing to do is just not make a response. And then come out at the right time with the right type of response. That's exactly what Ryan Tannehill did today. So, or did Tuesday, that we played the audio earlier. Blaine brought up a great point. This whole thing going on with Saban and with Jimbo and all the stuff that's going on with college football. We're talking about SEC scheduling. So we thought, well, let's get a college football reporter on today. And we got Matt Hayes, who's coming up next. He's with Saturday Down South. Going to get into all of this stuff with him. You do not want to miss it. That's next. Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. Matt Hayes should be on with us here momentarily. We'll get in touch with him, 1010 XL in Jacksonville. Also, he's a writer for Saturday Down South, so we'll talk to him about a whole bunch of SEC and college football stuff.
Hey, man, I just hit myself in the eye.
What did you do?
My headphones wanted to do its own thing. It said, nope, I'm not getting on your big noggin.
You have to put Blaine on the DL after an eye injury here.
It got my eye watering, man. And it's not watering looking at that nice chocolate cake.
Getting questions even on Twitter about this. We were talking earlier, and we can get into this with Matt when he joins us, talking about the SEC and SEC spring meetings coming up and how there will be a new scheduling format. Somebody called in and said, why not play 10 games? And somebody asked the same question on Twitter, checked in with Blaine and Mickey and asked about why not play 10 games. That hasn't come up. That happened once in COVID, and there weren't the other 2 games to go with it. It was just a 10-game all-SEC season. Everybody loved it from a fan standpoint, but I think the idea of – and Blaine, Nick Saban has kind of said what you've said. You said just play other big teams then, like play other power, make it as good as you can, pick the hardest opponents you can play. And Nick Saban has talked about that before, like, I think we should only play each other. Well, but he still schedules because nobody else is doing it, so I'm going to keep scheduling Arkansas State,
I think
too.
a funner conversation would be if they put on the gloves, Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher, call in right now, 737-1045. Who do you think would win in a knockout, drag-out boxing match?
How much?
Or do you want to make it MMA? How you want to go? Jimbo versus Saban.
I think you'd have to just go boxing because they're
Just
age.
boxing? Okay.
But Jimbo is –
well, they both up there. Yeah, but hey, who went? This is who you believe in now.
Does Saban have, 15 years, you think, on Jimbo?
Oh, I don't know if that much, really. So what? Saban's what? Close to 70?
Close to 70.
68. And how old is Jimbo, you think? 60?
Surely he's not 60
58?
Or
56.
50. Oh,
He's 56.
Oh, okay.
So he's probably got 10 years on him.
I don't know. Age could. I don't know. Oh, Nicky
Saban
looks like
is-
he in pretty decent
Saban's
shape.
70.
70 and 56. You
So
would
it's
think
14
56.
years.
56, yeah, he got it. Yeah, 56.
Born in the same month, too.
Saban is wiry. I don't know. Matt Hayes is on with us now.
Man. I think I'm going with Jimbo.
Matt Hayes at
56.
Matt Hayes CFB 1010 XL in Jacksonville Saturday Down South. Blaine has decided we're going to do a pay-per-view event where Saban and Jimbo are just going to fight. We think maybe boxing instead of like a full contact deal. Saban is 14 years older. Matt, do you think he can hang in with Jimbo though? What kind of odds are you going to place on that fight?
It's tough, man. It's tough. Not only that, he's ornery. You know? Jimbo's going to have the reach. Jimbo's going to have the height, obviously, and the reach. I don't know. Nick's tough, man. I don't know. I don't know who I take in that one, actually. I don't know that age is going to matter. That'd be tough. That'd be a tough one. No doubt about it.
I'm telling you, it get good numbers too. Maybe they wouldn't even have to play a 10th game or even a 9th game against each other. They could just split the proceeds among the teams. So we've got into this potential scheduling discussion. Obviously, the SEC spring meetings are coming up, so we'll get answers on some of these things sooner than later. But what's the right scheduling format? Surely it couldn't be 8 with one permanent opponent because, well, you'd ruin a lot of rivalries that way.
Yeah, I don't think the 1-7 model is going to be it. I mean, and it's also how many games are they going to play? That's another big thing. I think they'll probably go to 9 when Oklahoma and Texas get there, only because my guess would be ESPN telling them you're going to 9. You know,
Yeah,
they're saying, look, if we're going to pay you this X amount of money, you got to give us more inventory of team versus team SEC. So I mean, my guess is it's going to be 9 games and it's going to be 3 permanent, and then you'll have 6 rotating, and that's kind of the best way to do it, because the whole idea with this schedule change is to make sure when a kid comes into the university, like a kid signs with the University of Tennessee, the goal is if he stays 4 years, he'll be able to go to every campus in the SEC and play a game there. So that's the goal of that. They think they want each one of their players to have that experience, where they experience every university in the league playing on the road and that. And I think that's a good thing. I do.
Oh, yeah. What a thing to guarantee somebody you'll play everywhere if you're here 4 years would be fantastic. Matt Hayes, our guest, here on Blaine and Mickey, talking some college football today.
Well, before we get into the weeds there, Matt, I want to kind of ask you, what do you think the players think the NIL rules should be or infrastructure, or do they care, do you think?
I think they think it's what it should be right now. That's what I think. Honestly, Blaine. I mean, that's well, if you're a player, why wouldn't you think that? And quite honestly, considering what the Supreme Court did last summer, I don't see how it changes. And they can say guardrails all they want. They're just going to be like suggestions, just like the NCAA came out with their suggestions a couple of weeks ago. They can't get their arms around this. This thing is almost legally binding right now, because any way you look at it, if you try and put some kind of guardrails around this thing, you're going to be preventing someone from earning money off their name, image, and likeness. And I don't know how. First off, I don't know how they got away with it for more than a century. That's number one. Number two, I don't know how they get away from it now that the door's open. And it's, the transfer rule is the same thing. So it's, I know they're upset about it, and I know they're upset about I think the coaches are way more upset about the transfer rule than they are NIL, by the way. The coaches are fine with NIL. They'll deal with that. It's no different than figuring out how to deal with a locker room when you've got different levels of players that play. It's just different people getting paid, and that adds another level to that nonsense, but they can deal with that. I think the bigger issue for coaches is the transfer rule, because that affects roster. That affects how you deal with your roster, roster manipulation, whatever you want to talk about. You're recruiting high school players, you're recruiting junior college players, you're recruiting transfer portal players, you're recruiting your own roster, and it's every single day of the year. That's what I think is the problem for them, is they now have to re-recruit their own roster and 3 other areas to recruit, and it's a lot of work, man. It is. And you can say, well, they get paid $10 million a year, some of them, and I agree with you completely. They get $10 million a year. Stop complaining. I was the first guy to say, look, it's very funny that you've got Nick and Jimbo arguing about, paying players, or Jimbo or Nick used the word bought. And by the way, that's a loaded word, and that's why Jimbo was pissed off.
Right.
You can argue. I thought it was funny that you've got 2 guys that make $10 million a year. They're arguing about players getting paid for the first time in 150 years of college football. That was always interesting to me,
Yeah, no doubt about it. We're on with Matt Hayes with 1010XL in Jacksonville. So let's say this continues for multiple years, because it seems like you believe, and a lot of people believe, that no infrastructure is going to be put in place, even by, federally. So if it keeps going down this road, what would you think college football is going to look like? It's just going to continue to just get worse. When I say worse, I mean that may the best man win as far as getting paid, and then these coaches are always on pins and needles that if someone offers my guy and he's not playing enough, that he's going to leave and enter the portal. Is that where we're going?
Well, short answer, yes. Okay.
Because I'm looking at the Pittsburgh receiver, and then he leaves, and then he's getting paid some money. So that's the highest bidder's going to win.
Yeah. Look. I think you have to look at it this way, honestly, Blaine. Is you can't tell someone they can't make money. Like, you can't do that. That's not what this country's about, okay? Mm-hmm. So that's number one. Now, you can do that if they are your employees, if they can collectively bargain with you, then you can do that. If you have a salary cap, then, as you know from playing in the NFL, then you can definitely do that, okay? But if you're not, that's not who you are, and it's literally amateur sports, which, again, this is amateur sports, and there's really no hold on these student athletes other than it's their hold that they have to play at that university unless they use that free transfer year to leave. That's the only really control you have over them. So the NIL is not going anywhere. I know people think it's the end of college football. It's not. They'll deal with it. Not only will they deal with it, but boosters will eventually figure out, okay, I can't pay this much money because there's no rate of return. So they'll figure it out. It's going to take a couple of years, but they'll figure it out. Now, to your larger scope, 30,000 feet question, where does it mean college football will go? I don't think there's any question that what Gene Smith, the Ohio State AD, brought up about a week ago is going to be a reality soon, where you've got the universities that want to invest in the commitment financially of playing football at that level, they'll break away. Be it 35 teams, be it 40 teams, be it 50 teams, however many, they'll break away. They'll go into divisions. They'll pay these guys. It'll be a pay-for-play situation. They'll all make the same, and that's where you'll get the differences. The NIL will kick in for the other guys that are better than the other guys. So they'll all make the same amount, but they're going to get paid, and it's not people always get confused. What are they going to pay them, $1 million each? No. They get paid right now. They each get like $5,500 a semester. It's a stipend. So the stipend will go from like $5,500 to probably $20,000, something like that. I'm just throwing a number out there.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll all get that. But the difference is it's going to be like a mini NFL, and you cannot do that without giving them the ability to collectively bargain. Mm-hmm. So they're going to be employees. That's the only way.
Oh, so taxes is going to be involved here.
If what Gene Smith says is true, that he thinks it's going to get to that point, you are not going to play separately as football, okay? The idea is you play separately in an own league, okay? The elite, that ones that commit to that money. You're not going to be able to do that and not make them employees. It's just, I don't see how you could do that.
And I would hate for Bryce Young not to pay his taxes, and they kind of escort him out before the game that he cannot play in this game for not paying his taxes.
Right. I mean, the best point is, if you're Bryce Young, why didn't you go in the portal this year? Because coaches see this is happening, where you're gonna have elite players that come back after great freshman or sophomore years, where they have a year or 2 years to go before they go to the NFL, and they're just going to go in the portal. It doesn't mean they want to leave their school, but it sure as hell means they want to see what everybody else is going to offer them, and if the school they're at can match. And that's another thing that coaches are really upset about. That you're gonna see that, and again, you will see that. There's no doubt that's going to happen. But I don't know why. Like, everybody is so panicked about this, and I don't know why. It will eventually, the market will figure itself out. That's number one. Mm-hmm. And number two, these guys will find a way around it. They'll find a way to work with it, not around it, but work with it. These are the same guys
that have no choice.
In 2020, right? In 2020, these guys figured out, well, a couple of them anyway, figured out how to play a football season during a global pandemic. Are you telling me something like the NIL is going to knock them out? Come on, man.
Right. No doubt.
I think everybody's panicking way too much right now.
Definitely. I guess one more question for me, and that is, and I'm sitting in a coach's chair, I'm always concerned about the collectives and the boosters. If you start giving players money, then it becomes like they are now the owners of your team, and then they're going to then call down and say, hey, play my guy. So then, and if you don't, then all of a sudden the boosters and maybe some of the collectives that get unhappy about a guy they're paying that's not playing, guess what? Into the lawsuit game. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That is what I would be worried about if I'm a coach.
Okay, and I understand that. I understand that concern. I'm going to hit you with this, Blaine, okay?
Mm-hmm.
What difference is that from what Bobby Lauer did at Auburn, or what any other booster does all over the country? There's no difference.
Well, the difference is now you see it in court. You'll see it in court, and it'll be played out. That's why it's different.
But I don't know that if let's say
that could rub the other boosters the wrong way.
Let's say Mickey and Blaine is like a $50 million corporation. Okay, you guys make $50 million annually.
That's close.
That's close. You decide, all right, you decide, all right, I want to pay Matt Hayes $5 million a year to play quarterback for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think any court's going to say, look, they should have more say over who plays and who doesn't. I don't see that happening at all. Here's a great example, okay? So yesterday on our show, we had Shannon Snell, who's a former All-American offensive lineman at Florida. He's part of the Florida Collective. And I asked him straight out, is there a concern among the coaches that once you guys start giving money, you're going to want more input to who plays and who doesn't? Like, I'm paying this guy $2 million a year. He's got to play. I don't care if the guy behind him is better. You know what I mean? One of those things.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, no. He said, there's going to be guys like that. There's no doubt. He said, but believe me, a majority of the guys who give to the collective, all they care about is winning. He said, right now, we are paying for guys their ceiling, their potential ceiling. So if something happens where one guy's better than the other guy, and one guy's been paid and the other guy hasn't, he said they don't care, because at the end of the day, all they care about is winning. Now, do you believe him? Who knows? He even admitted, look, there will be people who will try to exert their influence, and I'm sure there will be. But you got to, again, Blaine, this goes to me as, look, I think we're all panicking way too much, way too soon. And we're literally like in the infant stages of this thing. Let it play out a little bit. Let the market dictate what goes on.
Mm-hmm. Well, with Matt Hayes with a level head on the NIL from 1010 XL.
Oh, man. Wow. Blaine spitting bars over there. What's the future of the
Well, I mean, Mickey, seriously. I mean, we're talking about – so you got Nico Imalieva, who allegedly is getting $8 million to go to Tennessee. $8 million he's looking to throw a pass there. So I don't know. First off, I don't know if that number's right. But he's certainly getting paid without ever throwing a pass there. So I understand the concerns. I totally do. I just think that I said it earlier, college football has weathered so many different storms, especially in the last 3 decades, including a freaking global pandemic, and they still play a full season, man.
Yeah.
And I get it. There were some people who have no idea what they're talking about, and we're talking about playing spring football, and I'm talking about the Big Ten commissioner. There were other guys that knew exactly what they were talking about and just saying, look, let's just let's work the system and figure out where we are. That's what Greg Sankey kept saying. Let's just work the problem. And they worked the problem every day. And every day they worked the problem. And guess what? They played a full season. So just work the problem. You know what the parameters are. Let the market kind of feel things out a little bit.
That's the whole issue, though. They don't know the parameters because he thought you're only supposed to give it to current players, and then they're giving it to incoming freshmen.
No. The parameters are everybody gets it. That's it. It's the end of the story. You can argue and you can bitch and moan about how they shouldn't be getting this and he shouldn't be getting this. Guess what? Everybody gets it. So figure out what you got to do to deal with it. That's all.
Yeah. Well, everybody, as we know, won't be getting it, but everybody's available.
No, they won't. But it's available to everyone. Yeah. Which is that is a good thing. That is not a bad thing. These guys have gone over 150 years without getting paid. And believe me, I see the value in education. I see the value in how much money that the university spent on each player to develop them physically, mentally, emotionally. I get all of that. I see the value in that. But I also see the billions upon billions of dollars in media rights deals. And I just cannot get away from the fact that players, if they don't get some of that money, you've got to give them their ability to earn off their name and their image.
Will you think big universities, Power 5 schools, will hire additional staff, maybe outside even the school, to help them, I guess, manage through, being basically a professional athlete? And when I say that, okay, now you got to pay taxes. Hey, when we play such and such, and when we play here, they charge more here. I mean, you got to start learning this whole new game that you weren't even aware about. And then let alone, okay, we have social media. So then if you're not playing, you feel depressed, you feel the pressure, and then you're not getting it done or you're not even playing. How do you manage through those things? So that's why I say it's a dangerous deal because we're still dealing with young individuals. And so whenever you bring money into the play, it becomes a very dangerous thing because there's a lot of other things involved outside of that they can't even control, and neither will anybody else. So then is anybody going to support them through that? Because the backup quarterback's getting money, then all of a sudden the starting running back's not getting anything? Now we're going to get divided. Now we're going to get to see the real world right there in college football.
Yeah. And to be honest, Blaine, I mean, there's also dirty, bad people that are going to infiltrate the system and try and make money themselves off it. And there's no doubt about that. If you said they're going to give them support, I think it's going to be the same way you got support when you first went into the NFL and they told you, oh, by the way, you're getting taxes taken out of this. And here's a great example. Leon Searcy, when he signed his second contract with the Jaguars, so he was paid, it was a $20 million contract, and he had a signing bonus of I think $10 million or something. All right. So he goes, he says, I get that thing in the bank and I'm fired up. He said, about a week later, I get a call from my agent. And my agent says to me, I need you to just write a check for taxes. And Leon said, well, all right, fine. How much? 25,000? And the agent goes, $2 million. And Leon said, right then I kind of realized, okay, this is different. Mm-hmm. So these guys are going to need to be. And
then they're young and they're not going to pay it. That's what I'm going to bet on. They're going to be like, no, I'm not going to pay. Yeah, exactly. And they're going to be, escorting Bryce Young into the locker room. I'm using him as an example. He's extreme.
I got a feeling Bryce Young will be a little smarter.
I think he will. But I'm just using that example because they don't understand the ramifications of playing. Just think, I would wait and delay and delay and delay. I mean, so let alone, what's going on with some young guys who are 18, 19 years old, let alone they're now talking about getting them. I think Mickey brought up they're going to try to pay even high school athletes?
Yeah, NIL for high school is the next thing.
Well, I mean, honestly, Mickey, I don't know how they can stop that either.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, just because they're 1 year younger than a college guy, they can't get it? I mean, you can't stop that. You're not going to be able to stop it. Legally, they will not be able to stop it.
Yeah. Matt, hey, man, we're up against the break. This was just fantastic. Thanks for the time today.
Okay.
And let's do it again soon, and then we'll just pick up where we left off and keep solving the rest of the world's problems.
And then we'll send you some Zyrtec D.
Thank you, buddy.
Fellas.
Appreciate it, bro.
At Matt Hayes, CFB 1010XL Radio, great bunch down there. He and Leon and Joe and the crew. And Saturday Down South is where you can read his writing. Who wins a boxing match between Jimbo and Saban? Hit us. Phone lines open, 615-737-1045. We want to hear this. Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. Happy Thursday. It got dark outside. It's like 100% chance of total darkness out there. I have no idea what's going on, but they're about to play baseball in Hoover. So Alabama and Florida, the pitcher is adjusting his everything and getting ready to throw the first pitch in this game.
It's supposed to be at 9:30, by the way. This was
9:30
a.m.
a.m. It's
it just
2:48. Synchronize our watches. What time do you think the Vols and Vandy will hit this field if it stops?
We'll be all in. We're gonna be all baseball tomorrow.
They were saying 6, but I don't see that.
No, that was before what time this game started.
Initially it was supposed to be at 1 p.m. today.
Mm-hmm.
They had Tennessee Vanderbilt at 9:30 a.m. today, and then they had to move this game, so they moved it to 1 p.m. today, and now they've moved it to, according to Tennessee's baseball's account, approximately 6 p.m. Central.
Okay. First swing of the game, Florida guy hit it almost over the fence. Texas A&M outfielder with a fantastic catch while hitting the wall.
Ooh, he ran into Jerome Bettis.
I'm not going to lie. I'm enjoying the heck out of these games. I've just kind of had it on in the background at night watching it. I mean, I've watched this over some NBA playoffs. I've watched some of that.
Well, those are all blowouts.
Watched some hockey playoffs a little bit, but I've really enjoyed these SEC tournament games.
Yeah, it's lit. I like it. Boom. I was like, oh, man, I wish I could have hit that ball like that. Oh, I wish I could have pitched that ball like that.
There's just been some really good plays. I mean, just all around. Some bang plays, like great infield play, throwing guys out at first and everything else. Blaine asked maybe the greatest question he's ever come up with on the show. Who wins a boxing match? You said MMA, but I think because their age, you probably just have to make it boxing. So it's not kicking and whatnot, because two fellas who are in their 50s and 60s don't need to run around trying to kick each other in the head. Multiple people weighing in on the Zone TV chat. Tay Doe 8 Ball says Jimbo would be on his, let's say, butt like a spider monkey.
You got to make sure they got their sumo suits on.
No, that might be the best way to do it. Will Lamore says, I'm putting my money on Jimbo over Saban. Titans fan 2008 says Jimbo. People feel really good about Jimbo on
I think it's the age difference.
I think he'd tire himself out. I think he'd come out fired up like he was at that press conference and just a barrage of punches, and I think Saban would just wait it out.
Oh, that's happened to me before, man, at a young age. Yeah.
Just come out and just give it everything you got, and then you're exhausted.
Yeah. And it was
I think
only
that's what would happen.
3-round little sparring deal.
Oh.
And after the first round, I was like, oh my God, this is tough. I think I was probably like 12.
You were boxing at 12?
Oh yeah, there's nothing that I didn't do.
Bass drumming and boxing and
bass drumming.
Yeah, you were the bass drummer at military school.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Come on, man.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I remember things.
Yeah, man.
See, all my stuff happened as an adult. All these things. You'd lived like 6 lives by the time you were in college.
Yeah, that's why I was beat up when I got to the pros.
So, how many boxing matches did you have?
No, probably 3.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when I realized, that again, hitting the head that hurts. Even the body shots hurt. No, get in the real. So then, you know what I implemented in my training when I was in the pros? But I was talking about when I was 12 when I was boxing. I did not box after that.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So your career began and ended at 12.
Yeah. That was at the Boys and Girls Club.
Okay.
Yeah. So kid kept picking on you. So you said, you guys go to the ring. You put on your head and gloves, and then y'all go box it out. So you keep messing with you. I said, okay, I'm good with that. But I gave all I got. I was like, whoa.
You went for the first round knockout.
Yeah, I did.
It did not happen, huh?
It did not happen. So I was like, oh, man, that's great cardio there. So I implemented it here. I used to go downtown all the time.
Alex says, Saban sold his soul to the devil. He wins everything. Saban in the second round knockout. Lonzo says, Jimbo Fisher coming out of the corner with a Superman punch.
Ooh, jumping in the air like, ooh.
Yes. Idiot Garage. These are just some fantastic names on here. Man, I used to fight MMA. I'd box 3 or 4 rounds, but when I got in the cage, 1 round and I was about dead. Adrenaline dumps are real.
I tell you, boy, you will get gassed.
I think Saban would do exactly what you said. I think he just, like he would just take some blows, just move around a little bit, bounce, make him use up all his energy, and then just literally try to kill him. But let him expend everything he's got, like just kind of cover up and just take it, like Rocky would do, where he would let the opponent punch himself out.
Once again, Saban always playing chess and not checkers.
And I think he would have like that old man strength too. Like you'd think, okay, come on, one punch from this guy, and I think it would just be a straight line, like a freight train to your brain. It'd be insane.
How tall is Jimbo? Do we know? Because Saban's not that tall. I mean, he's like 5'8", right?
I don't know. I don't know what the measurables are.
I don't know Jimbo's measurable. I know Jimbo's arms may be a little longer. Didn't Saban play like defensive back?
Kent State.
He played at Kent State.
In the MAC in Ohio.
Yep. Jimbo played at Samford, I'm pretty sure, in Birmingham.
Oh, did he?
Played for Terry Bowden. A big Bowden guy, Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah.
Worked for Bobby.
Terry Bowden, the little general.
Oh, my. Wasn't it Bowden at Louisiana Tech since we were talking about them earlier?
No, he's at Louisiana Monroe now. The little general is there.
Right.
He is there now. And we got to be somewhere else now because it's time for us to go. 3HL is coming up next. They'll get you the rest of the way home.
In the meantime.
In between time, people.
Peace!